What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the FSL Dota 2 Open 2, of course, presented by FSL, alongside our sponsors and partners, Intel and Yahoo. We're getting ready for Game 3, another best of one fiesta, this time between StepSis and Chicken Cordon, two of my favorite things in the world, and we are your commentators. I'm Husky, alongside Otomo, bringing you guys the action.
Two of your favorite things, chicken and more chicken, right? Those are your two favorite
Yeah,
things.
Chicken and Cordon.
I'm sure.
Yes.
And more chicken, yes. Yeah, this is a double elimination tournament. It's a best of one until the finals, which is a best of three. It's an all-women tournament, of course, brought us by Intel and Yahoo. And why are you smirking, good sir? What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about chicken. You know, my someone asked me what my wish is. So my friend was streaming and he had this question, right? What are the two things that you wish the most? So I'll say first thing I want is to be able to attend TI, and the second thing I want is fried chicken for the rest of my life. So of course I'm happy.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, well, I think one of these two teams is going to be suffering a little bit because this is a lower bracket match, which means the loser of this team is going to be removed. So this is a do or die game for sure.
Yep, and so we look at the draft, you know, pretty far in. You know, we Abaddon, Viper, Spectre, Timbersaw, Mirana, Puck, Oracle, Slark. 8 heroes out so far. StepSis has the Sand King and Hoodwink, and Chicken Cordon has the Lion and Dragon Knight.
Yeah, and Sand King and Hoodwink. It's a good opening. I imagine it could be a Hoodwink 4 with a Sand King that's a very strong lane. Lots of disables there. These guys could be able to just run across the lane. On the other side, though, they have pretty good lane as well. They got the Dragon Knight as well as the Lion. There's a lot of control there. Both teams have pretty tanky openers in the off lane, assuming it is in the off lane Dragon Knight as well. And the Hoodwink and the Lions will probably position 4s as well as Squishy, although I think I like the Hoodwink a bit more because of her elusivity.
Yeah. What do you think about the Hoodwink change? You know, the Bushwhacker now does damage. It does the damage over time instead of an instant nuke. How is it gonna affect this Hoodwink?
Big nerf overall, because before you used to get the damage and then you disable them while the tree is up. Now it's like, oh, the damage is over time. The moment you cut down the tree, the damage is gone. So firstly, the amount of HP regen people have is going to affect it. It's going to be a nerf to that. Dispels will affect it. Cutting off the tree will affect it. So it's just a big nerf in terms of the damage that you were coming out. I don't know if it's a big nerf to doing overall, like if the hero is just a lot worse, but that is a nerf for the hero. Snapfire comes out. She got buffed in her strength gain, I believe, as well as the damage from her ultimate. And she got a nice slow talent level 10. So I think Sapphire is one of those nice winners. You know, she got nice buffs. She's a little bit better. I don't know if this will be enough to push her, but I like it. And Grimstroke, along with Lion and Dragon Knight, an amazing combo.
Yeah, and a lot of, again, single target disables. We have seen this in the past 2 games. Grimstroke also received a couple of, well, not a couple of changes, but primarily to the, I think, Stroke of Fate and the Ink Swell, right?
Yeah, Ink Swell
lasts longer to
a second longer. I
think those are pretty good.
It is a good thing because you also get, remember, for the extra second, you're getting extra movement speed, you're getting all that extra damage. It's just better. Also, it gives you more time to stack up your Inkswell. The amount of damage and stun does based on how long you've been next to an enemy during its duration. So it's overall, I like it. I think it could be a nerf because sometimes it doesn't activate as early as you'd like it, but it's overall a buff. You will enjoy having it most of the time.
Yeah, and of course the Stroke of Fate damage increment. Grimstroke himself is pretty decent at clearing waves and farming waves, and now you give him that extra damage, and suddenly, you know, he's gonna be even more efficient in doing so. You know, I think level 4, like max level Stroke of Fate, if you throw it down a wave, that range creep is 100% gonna die. And now you might be even able to clear out melee creeps if there's enough of them. Juggernaut will be the choice for Chicken Cordon, and StepSis will have Gyrocopter.
I'm just loving everything that Chicken Cordon. Like, I love their draft because, firstly, Grimstroke has good combos in both the Dragon Knight and the Juggernaut, either in the lane or later on. The Soulbind works really good with. Look how much you have combos: Finger, Hex, Earth Spike, Dragon Tail. Like there's already 4 combos with the Grimstroke and 2 Ink Slaves, so it's really good. On the StepSis side, they got a decent combination as well. Snapfire works well with the Sand King. You have great team fights with the Epicenter as well as the
5 seconds remaining.
Mortimer's Kisses. That took me a second. Sorry about that. As well as the Gyrocopter. So there's a lot of I like a lot of what StepSis has. I do think that they're slightly weaker though because they rely so much on Sand King initiation to get the fight off.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, at the same time, I think Gyrocopter also received a bit of love from Ice Frog. What do you think about this change that might bring Gyrocopter support into the limelight? Like finally, 20 minutes X Shard, you give the homing missile a rocket barrage. I
10 seconds
I was
remaining.
thinking of Gyrocopter with Phil. It
Dire
could be a
team
thing.
ban.
In this case,
I mean,
it's 100% going to
Radiant
be a plus
team
one.
pick.
Even as the post, I mean, I'm seeing a shot. It's a lot of value. It's so much value it gives you. And what we are just doing straight with the last 2 picks is the Wind Ranger and the Void Spirit. And overall, I am liking Chicken Cordon's draft just a little bit more. They have, those. I say it every time. They have this nice tanky frontline combination, great backline with the Grimstroke and the Lion, good combinations as well. StepSis, it's all on the Sand King. I hate when I see a draft that's all on one person to perform. It's all on Sand King. If he can get his good burst strikes and starts the fight, great. If he doesn't, you got very squishy backline in the Wind Ranger, the Hoodwink, and even Snapfire. Tanky, but she doesn't like having people in her face.
Oh yeah, so this is definitely going to be pretty interesting to see how it's gonna pan out. But it's safe to say that at least you can be sure that Divine will have a decent laning phase, I guess, and you can always recover in the jungle alongside this Gyrocopter if needed. And just probably one of the best late game off laners, I would say. Just so much utility provided as long as the Sand King stays alive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love Sand King. I think Sand King also got a really nice buff to his Shard, by the way. 20 extra damage to Epicenter. I think that was the thing that's going to push the Shard to just being you have to get it. Like, it's so good now because you get 20 bonus damage. Before, people were like, do I get it? Because when I walk around, sometimes I want the Epicenter, so I was like, whatever. But now you always want the Shard. And it's just so much though, so much that he has to do for the Sand King, which is why I favor the Dire drafts much more.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Though I still kind of dislike the Sand King Shard. I mean, the damage is nice for the Epicenter, but just the whole idea of having this walking tremor as like it feels underwhelming for a hero like Sand King. I mean, I'm no game balancing expert, so I don't know what else they could change it, but how else they could change it. But I just feel like it's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I can see how it works. I mean, we would need an expert, like a professional position offlaner who's like, yeah, I believe this is why it's better. Or I mean, it's definitely buffed, but is it core? That's a hard thing to tell. But one thing that they do have that's really good for Chicken Cordon, by the way, is that they have a lot of heals coming out of the healing ward. And it's going to be very difficult for StepSis to get that because remember, it is a healing ward and they're up against ranged heroes. The ranged heroes may not be able to reach it. Like Wind Ranger won't try to go for it, Gyrocopter won't try to go for it, maybe the Hoodwink if she can, but it's a bit tough. And someone has a family to take care of. I definitely understand how that works. Like I do have my 6-month-old as well, and sometimes it's like you're in the middle of a meeting. It's like, nope, baby needs you. I need to just go for the baby. So I imagine for a mom it might be even tougher.
Oh, I just realized that Bayrida is playing on Chicken Cordon. It's a very familiar name. Can't really pinpoint when I saw her. When was the last time? I mean, the last time is definitely like 2-3 years ago. During Fly of the Valkyries, but other than that, there's a bit of a memory. At least the impression is there. It's gonna be a good match.
I love the
sure.
icons. I love the icons they're using. If you look at both teams, they all have like lady icons. It's pretty cool. I mean, if it's guys, you always see the anime characters. If I like Naruto and a bunch of others, it's like, all right, we get you're a guy, man.
I mean, I can't relate because mine is Little Nightmares. My favorite one is definitely from Ulap, Princess of the Moon. It makes me feel ancient.
I love that too. I love that as well because she is like the game icon from the very first one, the Dota 1 in Mirana. I was like, oh crap. I saw it too. I was like, oh, I recognize that. How old am I?
But there's
Well,
I
so
I
this,
think one of the few big like differences in terms of the hero icons, if you look at way back in the days and right now, is Legion Commander, right? Guy went to a whole gender transformation.
yes, I mean, he had the horse. He had the horse before as well. The horse was just
Yeah, they
disappeared,
took
right,
away the
without-
horse, and then and to be fair, I like her voice line a lot. She's one of my favorite heroes. I have a whole say persona, but I commissioned an artwork just just based off of Legion Commander. I just like it,
I
a lot of
think
confidence.
Legion Commander should be a support in this patch. She got a plus 40 HP
Yeah.
in health talent. That's insanely good. Like I cannot believe. Like I think we'll be seeing her as a support. Both teams smoked to invade each other's triangle and didn't quite work out for either one of them.
What do you think has
But-
a better level one? I think StepSis probably has a better level one. Like if they were to run
Well,
into
it's a
each
tough
other.
one. I'll be honest with you, it's a tough one. I think because look at the Chicken Cordon. Look how much stuns they have. They got they got Lion, they got Dragon Knight, Inkswell if you need it, Aether Remnant. There's a lot of stuns, and Juggernaut can skip all the spells from StepSis. But on the other hand, StepSis, they got a lot of stuns as well, and they got tanky in the Sand King. I prefer Chicken Cordon just because Dragon Knight, Juggernaut, and Voice Spirit can take a hit much more than StepSis Lion, where it's only the SK who wants to be hit in the face.
Yeah.
I
Now
say
they
hit in the
put
face,
it-
but like, yeah.
I mean, it definitely for Chicken Cordon they have that better front line. Wind Ranger, with the new egg shot, we'll see if we get to witness that in this game. Though it does
I
feel
mean,
like
this is-
I don't know. I mean, for global spell, it isn't too bad.
Right? That's the thing. I haven't actually seen it, but like it summons a tornado that globally pushes people. What the hell? Top lane looks like Julap might be in trouble. And can they get the damage off here? Very close, but it's not enough. And it's a 3-man attempt here, so
They're
that's going to be
trilaning
costly
this.
for them. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, why wouldn't you? To be honest, you got 2 stunners
Yeah.
here, and with the Juggernaut.
Okay,
But
they're trying to get the first split. Okay.
It was only and then they send the Lion bottom here because as tanky as Dragon Knight is, he doesn't actually have any CS because he knows that he can die.
Oh yeah. And it's like, you just
Not today.
I just like the think from the homing missile.
The
Wait till he
sound
gets
makes
level
when it
20.
hits someone, right? Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
ding, and it's like okay. But yeah, speaking of the shot, and I do think that the shot's good even for a core gyrocopter because, like you said, once you get that multiple ones, I mean, you want to get later if it's a core, but it's still worth it.
Burrow strike. There's the Inkswell. The delay might just cost her life, and indeed it is. Indeed it will. Divine with the first blood.
They jumped on the right target. Grimstroke really can't take two multiple stuns in the face, and yeah, she has to be very careful. I'm sorry, yeah, she has to be. I was gonna be waiting. Is Grimstroke a dude? And I was like, no wait, I forgot. It's an all-women tournament. She has to be very careful.
One of the few downsides, I guess, to that 1 second increase, right?
Right, yeah, if it had activated, she would have stunned him earlier, right? That's what I'm saying, like, most of the time it's a good thing, but there are times where you'd be like, I wish this activated a lot sooner.
I guess for doing this, not in a good spot, able to walk it off. There's no homing missile, thankfully.
And looks like StepSis are starting off pretty damn well for them. The bottom lane going really well for them. The Gyro is 13-2 to the 6-1 for like literally doubling him and everything. And mid lane as well is going. I mean, not as much of a win, of course, but Wind Ranger doing well. Like you'd expect the Voice Spirit to do a little bit better just because it is a melee matchup where she can get the creeps. But all the harass from Wind Ranger is really costing her.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at. It's just kind of a health differential at this stage. Vayne is still keeping up in terms of the last hit, but you
But
talk about
that's
how a lot is on Divine's shoulder as Divine just can go in. But here we go, the spin. They have the sentry wall drop down, the stroke of fate, but the right clicks. Oh, so close. Divine dies first, and that's a worth one for Beirida for sure. As a Cha will get that deny off, but a secondary bushwhack Cha is gonna go down. So the whole lane gets demolished by StepSis.
And that miss from the stroke of fate. If that had landed, they would have killed the Sand King much earlier and would have been like Beirida would have probably made out alive. But that is one of those crucial misses where you're watching, you're like, man, if I had just landed that, turned and guts them a double kill for StepSis. So 1K net worth already at 4 minutes. That's pretty big lead.
Yeah, it's pretty okay. Though it is expected that the Sand King is not gonna have too much fun in this lane. 7 last hits compared to the Juggernaut, 16 and 7. But at least Sand King is one of those few heroes that he gets a couple of levels. You give him some time in the jungle, he's gonna recover. But
especially because Juggernaut has one of those nicest attack animations, so it's so hard. Like you're like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to get last hits with him around.
Yeah, so it's very annoying. You talk about how the Sand King is the kind of has to carry a lot of weight for the team, but what about the Wind Ranger?
I mean, she could get a few easy kills on the Grimstroke and the Lion. That's something that she should be able to do most of the game, and she will be bringing up the bulk of their damage for the early part of the game as well. So there's a lot on her as well to do. But nothing happens unless the Sand King starts the fight well. So I think Wind Ranger, if you can get a good shackle, that's great, but it's mostly going to be still on the Sand King.
To be a bushwhack to burrow strike once more. Beirida going for the spin, and this time the Sand King not so lucky. Divine is going to be sliced to the ribbons. And it's a pretty straightforward kill for the side of Chicken Cordon.
Hello?
This might have is just overcommitted, I think. We get a couple of harass in that bot lane as well. I think the Sand King dive was a bit unnecessary. It's a bit careless from the side of StepSis.
That when you're playing aggressive like that, it always opens you up to being killed because you're all thinking, I can get a kill, I can get a kill. But if you use Burst Strike to initiate, you're not using it to get out. So yeah, StepSis, they are feeling like, okay, they're feeling the pressure to do something with the Sand King. But the problem is, you're up against a very strong lane. Juggernaut Grimstroke is a very strong lane, and risking it like that might cost you. And there's a dive here in the mid lane though.
Go shackle shot into a power shot. No focus fire as 2 did use it earlier on. So no kill pressure on Vayne. You kind of need a +1, and the best bet that you have is that Hoodwink, who is not even close, trying to handle this top lane all by herself. 2 souls being delivered. It's a very generous portion of regeneration.
By the way, if you look at StepSis' draft, they have no sort of instant stun. Every single stun that they have, you can see coming from a while away. It's Cookie, Shackle Shot, Hoodwink, Bushwhack, Burrow Strike, Gyrocopter Missile, which means that it's very easy. In our top lane though, they might be able to get this kill.
Yep, Venom Embrace, they're not going to commit to it. And this time Divine has that Burrow Strike, so not as easy, but maybe we might get something in the mid lane. You see the Lion hanging around. He's gonna back off. Unfortunately, 2 is just away. It's a bit too far from the distance that the Lion can engage. This has the Invis rune. I'm sure then, not too confident about going for it.
But yeah, so what I was gonna say is that if you are Vayne or you are Beirida, you can spin or you can dissimulate any stun coming your way. There's like very little that they can do to actually catch you.
Yeah, and Divine just went down once more to the same combo. Moon might be able to get something done. Could impale on 2 members as Kazumi gets the stun off. They have the homing missile from Yippee, but it's a Dragon Knight, so he's just gonna walk it off. Pretty awkward. The Voice Spirit is now coming to the bot lane, but imagine if he was there earlier. We'll see if Chicken Cordon will be able to get things done. Kazumi's desperately trying to go over the stun. I think bottom lane should be at engage. And yes, indeed, they will be. Yippie's going to lose her life. As the chicken also goes down. StepSis will lose 2 members.
Yeah, the top lane, I mean, they're controlling the lane so well. There's a sentry ward coming out from StepSis, but it doesn't actually catch any of any of Chicken Cordon's wards. But you're seeing it slowly here. Chicken Cordon taking the advantage in this game, but StepSis, I mean, you gotta play around the Wind Ranger and the Sand King. Just let the Gyro jungle, leave him alone in the lane. Have the Snapfire move to the top lane, have 3 people up there. There's no way that you don't want to play with Gyrocopter anymore. You just want Gyrocopter to farm and have stacks. Speaking of that, can we look at any of the triangle camps in the Radiant side, see if there are any stacks going on? No, that's not, no, nothing.
Oh, there we go.
It looks like there's gonna be. There you go. Those are some nice stacks coming out here. But Divine dies again. Oh dear God.
It's starting to get a bit. I think that's Divine's 5th death. Or like 4th death.
Third or 4th. I don't think she died.
Yeah, it's a 4th death.
Yeah, 4th. Yeah, there you go.
Not looking too good.
Not at all. I mean, it's 8 minutes in, right? Like 4 death is crazy. If we look at the net worth, I think we'll see Juggernaut is 3.5 gold right now, just because of he's been getting so much kills for himself.
I think the Juggernaut. Yeah, I mean, it's 41 last hits and 11 denies. It's already at level 6.
And
oh man.
Omnislash already used, by the way. What's he gonna go for? He's not gonna go for Soul Ring, is he? No.
No way.
I'm seeing 2 gauntlets of
Vanguard could be.
I
mean, Vanguard could be okay, but I think you kind of just want the use. I don't know. They're in a pretty weird position. They engage. Phantom's Embrace a bit too late. Good shackle. Inkstraw is gonna keep Berida alive a bit longer, and they still lose Divine. Oh, Berida actually makes it out. Drop the healing wall. Sharpshooter goes wide. The whole team of Chicken Cordon is here, and they're not happy with what StepSis has been doing. Good Impale. Kind of wasted time off their wind run, turns her into a frog, and now gonna try to burn her down. The shackle is gonna connect, but not gonna get a secondary target. 2 actually makes it out alive, but still StepSis loses that Sand King. That's the 5th death for Divine.
You know, it's kind of crazy. Oh, nice. They actually are able to steal the bounty rune, and they spot out all the stacks on Chicken Cordon. As crazy as going 1 and I believe 5 on the Sand King, he is higher net worth than the Dragon Knight as well as the Voice Spirit, because he goes up to the lane, he clears it out with Sandstorm, he gets a few creeps as well. Then he's like, all right, I'll try to be aggressive. So very impressive coming out from the Sand King. Divine dying 5 times and still topping, being number 4 in terms of net worth.
Yeah, it's actually insane. But
how is that even possible?
DOTA works in wonderful ways.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe he just, maybe Chicken Cordon spending more time trying to kill him, and in the meantime, he's just getting those kills, right?
Grimstroke is in no man's land. I think that Grimstroke might be losing his life, but he does have the Vayne coming to help her out, so it's going to be a 2-on-4 engagement, and I think they will be able to make it out just fine. Remember, the Sand King, you really should consider taking this as soon as they can.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yep. And
again, his net worth is just going to shoot up because of this.
Just watch that go out, and the supports will be able to get some experience as well. Ula definitely needs it. Let's get a couple of farms working towards the 8 to the remnant. Not the 8 to the lens.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, that's just crazy to see the Sand King's 3rd net worth, 2nd highest for his team. And this might be a kill.
Yep, the person who spots out the camp goes down. Good sharpshooter. Even dodges the brief fire. Mass TV is coming from Chicken Cordon. 8 the remnant does go wide, and that means that Vayne doesn't really want to fight this. Epicenter is going to start pulsating, and that's going to most likely cause this voice rate to go down. The pushback to follow up as Chicken will get the secondary kill on Kazumi. Unfortunately for Chicken Cordon, this time the Mass TV did not work out. Lion won't be able to do too much to protect this tower, and if she dares try,
might lose her life.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it. Shackle shot into a bushwhack, pin her to a tree, and they even start spitting fire onto her. As Ula will get that credit for herself.
I mean, very worth it. I mean, that's just really. They got 4 kills. Berida also is going for the Battlefield, which means that she just want to focus on farm. But if you have the Omnislash, maybe that's the time where you show up and just try to get an ulti and help your team out. But like, we were looking at Chicken Cordon, we're like, wow, they're doing so well in the lanes, they're getting kills. But in terms of that, none of it has translated to net worth. Like, the Sand King is is ahead. The win ratio is ahead of their respective counterparts.
Dire's top
Yeah,
tower
it's, you know,
is
that he
under
died 5
attack.
times and he's still ahead of the curve. Is setting up the kills. Although those ultimates are going to be down for a while, so Chicken Cordon, let's see what they can do. No Elder Dragon form though. This tower push is going to be pretty awkward. Good Shackle on the 2, Bushwhack to follow up. They have the Cookie as well. They put the stuns together and they follow up with the call down and Burrow Strike. Zumi instantly gets obliterated, and Chicken Cordon, they have no business in this mid lane.
They can't fight without the Juggernaut. I mean, at least it's too risky to fight without the Juggernaut. That's multiple instances where the top lane one, no Juggernaut, mid lane one, no Juggernaut, and you can see that StepSis is like, we're bringing the whole families here. You know, that's what the StepSis is all about. So it's good for them.
Yeah, we all know the meme, right? Family strong together. Oh, a Bushwhack onto 2, both the supports getting caught. Lion is dead. And Chicken Cordon kind of slipping a bit. We saw StepSis, their layering of crowd control is amazing. It felt like, you know, Chicken Cordon bounded for a century, not able to move a single limb.
It was like a beautiful Shackle shot, followed by the Grimstroke, followed by a Cookie. Is like so well done by StepSis. But again, this is all without Beerida. I do feel like there is a big difference in Chicken Cordon's ability with and without the Juggernaut, because she is #1 net worth. If she's not fighting, you are suddenly behind in like 8k gold and a team
Are
member.
scanning.
Yeah, and she is kind of the bulk of the damage, right? Everyone else is just there to kind of provide the crowd control to facilitate this Juggernaut. Chicken Cordon still buying time for Beerida to farm up. It's doing okay. It's top of the net worth, like you said, going for the Sanj and Yasha next. A bit of a slight nerf to the status resist of Sanj in this patch, but
Yeah.
do you think the impact is going to be huge or is just kind of negligible?
It's gonna matter. You know, it's like I think the item lost like 25% of its effectiveness, went from like 16 to 12. That's a big nerf for it. But because you're always gonna build it to either Heaven's Halberd or SNY, it's not too bad because the item's still a part of something else, so it'll be okay. It's annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. You're still gonna get it.
Smoke from the side of Chicken Cordon.
Mid lane, they want to kill the Wind Ranger. I think they might try to.
A bit too late on the trigger, a bit too slow on the trigger. In fact, in vain, could put her body in front. And it's gonna be Shackle shot up once more, but this time there's no follow-up. In fact, one of his kisses will be used. Beerida will be forced to use the spin away. Hope we miss out. Track Vayne down.
Are fortified.
Nothing to dispel it. In fact, focus fire. And also the sharpshooter in the middle lane. They're gonna break this dragon knife, follow up with the Shackle shot, but the damage is insufficient. Now Cordon will be dropped as well. They get a double finger and an Omni Slash. Perfectly done as Beerida gets a double kill. They will also take out Yippee as Divide goes. They're just gonna channel that epicenter, but she will also die. And that is the fight that Chicken Cordon has been looking for. 4 kills at the mid tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
This is what we were talking about. We say without the Juggernaut, it's totally different. They bring the Juggernaut, 4 kills, 0 losses, and it's just so much harder because you got the Juggernaut and you have another guy, like another tanky guy you have to focus on. He's got heals, he's got an Omni Slash, you can dodge everything. And shout out to the double finger, by the way, so much damage.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those scenarios where StepSis felt a bit hesitant whether they wanted to commit to that fight or not. You know, they were. I mean, the ultimate wasn't too bad, right? They were able to stop the push, but it's like one after the other. First they throw the Monimus Kisses, and they're like, yeah, yo, you survived Monimus Kisses. Here we go, level 2 call down. Divine was not there the entire fight, so it definitely felt a bit weird. But they're gonna try again. They have those single
Beerida
target
left.
lockdown. If they find Beerida, this is gonna be huge. And they see her. Where's the engage? Oh, what? The smoke breaks.
No,
her.
they only broke.
Divine?
Divine
Now, okay,
lost
now they
something,
find
though.
her. Wishback goes wide, but the layering is perfect. They still get her. I was slightly worried, you know. I see the smoke break and Divine blinks to the high ground. I'm like, oh, did they just miss Beerida? Well, they found her, and they're gonna find Chai as well. Shackle shot into a power shot just right through her skull. That's a double kill for 2.
I mean, these kills are gonna happen, so you have to just accept that they're just. I was like, all right, we lost a couple people. It's no big deal. So as long as they don't get a Roshan or a tier 2 tower, Chicken Cordons are gonna be like, you have to accept some of these losses are gonna happen. There's no like perfect game of Dota where you get all the good stuff happening to you. So it's fine for them. The loss of farming time for Beerida is gonna be annoying, but she is still more than 2k ahead of the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, and I think that's
And,
what's
and I
most
do think
important,
that-
right?
Yeah, I do think that the Roche potential is just so much higher on Chicken Corner as well. We're almost at 20 minutes. I think Cha might be considering going for that talent, the shard for the Grimstroke. It's so good with the dispel.
Oh yeah. So surprisingly, you know, I
And
don't
heals
see
you.
it too often, despite it
It
being.
is. Sorry, you continue.
Yeah, I mean, despite it, you know, being really good on paper, and I think even in practical usage is pretty darn effective. You know, especially the strong dispel. I think that is just there's just so much value, but I don't see it getting picked up often. I think a lot of other items are prioritized before. You know, your Force Staff, your Glimmer, your Blink Dagger, or even the Aghanim Scepter.
I think the main problem with the shard is that the strong dispel happens after it pops, not when you because when you imagine if I told you a strong dispel happens after 4 seconds, you're like, I need it right now. I don't need it in 4 seconds. I need my dispel right now to save me. So that is the problem that I think. But overall, it still gives you a good amount of healing, gives a amount of extra damage,
Every coin helps.
and of course it does have a strong dispel. So I do think it's still going to be something. We should check the quick buy actually, see if he's even thinking about, if she's even thinking about it.
Another smoke though, they want to catch 2. She does have a spree with her, the killing spree. In fact, oh, they're gonna see her right now, and that should be a kill. A finger and a brief fire. Yep, they will burn her to a crisp. And now the counter smoke. They found Vayne. Do they have the lockdown though? Bushwhack. They don't even need the cookie as the sharpshooter just gonna go wide. But here we go. Brimstone out into a Dragon Tail, double stun, Phantom to the grave, Snapfire is down, Granny into the grave, the Burrow Strike doesn't have enough damage. And this healing ward, healing Alkazumi. Look at Rita just microing 2 things at once. She is a queen. As Yula will be caught by the Dragon Tail, they will chop her up and she is dead. Chicken Cordon will slice StepSis up and they will wipe the entire team.
That's it was like 1-for-1 trade, and you're like, okay, both teams should be happy they got the mid lane, but then Chicken Cordon was able to just wipe them out. Like the Soulbind, we talked about Soulbind is so good this game because you have Dragon Tail, you got Earthspikes, you got Hexes, and we just saw a double Dragon Tail killed the Snapfire before she could do anything useful. Of course, Baby that came in and cleaned house, so it's the same story we had in game 1 and 2, where you have this beautiful group of like front line providing vision and control, whereas the other team is like all into range, and it's always costing them.
Yeah, now that you mention it's the same thing. You know, Sand King has to stand in front, and oh boy, Divine has to be really careful. And I think she knows, has to back off. Even Burrow strikes to safety. It's gonna put down the Sandstorm just for a while, but after thinking about it, they don't really have the tools to defend this tower anyways.
Top tower is under attack.
And by the way, this the healing ward just now was so good because we talked about, we said the healing ward, no one's can really hit it. Like no one really can go on StepSis side and just take out the healing ward, and it's so hard. It's healing too much.
And it's going to be another engage with the Ink Swell. They're gonna go on both the Wind Ranger and the Sand King. 2 is down. Devi is also out. And more than 40 seconds, and things are starting to fall apart for the side of StepSis.
I think the Juggernaut went for that extra Blade Fury radius because just now he was spinning. I was like, wow, that is a gigantic Blade Fury, and it looks really good on him. But I love this this outfit for Juggernaut. These cosmetics, same one I use.
Oh yeah,
It's nice.
I've learned, if there's one thing I learned from playing Dota 2 is that I don't care if I don't have a full set. I'll just mix and match all the immortals together. For example, Lion, look at him. This guy has the most, like, he has the worst fashion sense in the entire game. It's like he has like a green, he has like a fish rod, a green horn, a blue pendant,
Fire hand.
Yeah, you know, fire hands. He just puts everything together. He's like Gucci, Prada, Balenciaga, whatever. Let me just have all of it.
It's effective for me. That's all I care about. Ooh, they are gonna be able. Can they get a kill on the Wind Ranger? Looks like she's gonna fall.
Oh, and he even forced out the Monimus Kisses. That's two huge wins right there. Wind Ranger has died like what? This is the 3rd death in a row.
Yeah, and it's like Divine's 1-8. I mean, the 2 on the Wind Ranger. The problem is, it's like you said, she died 3 times in a row without being able to get anything out. She died in that triangle. Now she just died in the lane. I mean, I'm trying to think about what StepSis can do, but they do have the Sand King. He can just push out lanes. and go out the lane, sandstorm it, just blink to the trees and teleport out if you have to. Oh dear.
StepSis, Yippee found out, bushwhack, keeping her alive, but oh my goodness, just takes the Omni Slash and the Finger of Death. He's now moving on a killing spree. In fact, Gulab now needs to scurry away into the trees. Try to look for a squirrel, not able to find it.
I like how Moon just decided to steal a kill that was confirmed. They were like, I got Omni Slash, and he's like, no, I want the kill.
Yeah, I want my stacks, just get out.
So hey, his extra damage and health.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah.
has fallen.
It did get, I think the Agony Scepter damage got reduced. Did it reduce the base damage? Hold on.
Yeah, it's reduced by 25.
Yeah. I like how Icefrog was like, yeah, Lion, the extended range from the Earth Spike, I think it's a bit too far. Let me just reduce that, It can be a bit confusing. You cast it at max range and then it just extends outwards. You're like, wait, what? The bonus length.
Didn't he also get a -1 armor nerf? That's the big one. Like he got -1 armor. You can burst him down now,
He previously can't frontline, now he really can't frontline.
The ironic thing is that Lion is a great hero in tournaments, but he's actually a pretty bad pub hero. Because he relies on, like, you jump and you hit someone, you're like, guys, let's go, and they're like, no, I want to farm. You're like, what? I already jumped. So, he is not a very good pub hero, but...
He's like the magician that falls off the stage, right? Just blinks in, yeah, you're a fish, and then people just run at him. One of his kisses is gonna disrupt this. Roshan attack a bit, forcing a very early BKB, but counter engage into the backline. Oh, Divine found a Grimstroke. Grimstroke trying to go down. Finally throws out the Soulbind, but Cookie is dead. Double Omni Slash and Dragon Tears to the clean house. Divine is dead as Chicken wants to run away. Good bushwhack. They turn around with the damage. They take out the Aegis. Kazumi really wants Granny, but Granny will be saved by her bunch and bands of buddies. Dragonite dies, and somehow StepSis win that fight.
Yeah, it's a fantastic fight for them. I mean, the way they caught the Grimstroke with the Epicenter almost brought her down without her using a spell. She did get Soulbind, but at that point there were really no combos for her to work with. So it was just, they still got the Roche kill and the Aegis on the Juggernaut. She had to use it immediately, but overall, StepSis, the signs of life, this is what they need.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Just a fight that you didn't expect them to win. Yippee though just runs in, takes a Swift Slash to Omni Slash, go absolutely wide, but Barita just a couple of lasses on the way out, but definitely, I would say, if you are Yippee, you have to say, have to say your prayers, because, I mean, walking out like that was a death sentence.
The thing is, if Barita had used Omni Slash first, she would have gotten that kill. But she used Swift Slash because she was like, oh, what if anything happens? It's like, no, good try though. It was a good try.
Yeah.
This is luck. This is something that Dota has. There's a lot of luck involved. RNG. That was a pure RNG move. If you should have just straight away stuck on the Gyrocopter and gotten the kill.
Signs of life. It's like you said. A couple of deep wards from the side of Chicken Cordon. They have pretty good view of what StepSis is doing, but despite that victory at the Roshan fight, you still pointed out that Chicken Cordon, they're pretty much still in the lead, 6k gold advantage in fact.
Yeah, like it was a nice boost for StepSis morale as well as their net worth, but it hasn't actually changed the game. The game's still Chicken Cordon firmly ahead. And I can't imagine them actually losing, because their draft just seems a lot stronger in team fights. Oh, Gyrocopter.
Oh boy. Very preemptive finger, and Moon is dead. Here comes Barita. BKB popped by 2. She's like, I don't want any part of this. In fact, if they catch Chicken Cordon, they might get a kill, because Chicken Cordon is very fast spread out.
By the way, this is exactly what happens to my Lion. I blink in, no one's there to help, and I die. Like, okay, whoops.
I guess, yeah, that's me as well. They found Vayne. Then any follow up has the Astro Step. Yeah, just get out. But Hoodwink is there. Rulout's gonna wait for the simulate. There we go. Gets a bushwhack. Where's the follow up? Whips him with the bullwhip. He's gonna use himself into a pit of fire and a burrow strike and a shackle shot. Everything perfectly done. StepSis getting a very good pickoff.
take that as tribute.
Yeah, Chicken Cordon is split up across now because the Juggernaut has not actually left the jungle for a while. Sorry, not Juggernaut. Dragonite has been in the jungle for a while. While mid lane we had the Void Spirits. Like they don't stick together. The StepSis does because StepSis they've been really good at combining their spells and getting pickoffs. So it's very risky for to see Chicken Cordon just decide like, all right, let's just split up. Everyone farm a lane. Still, they do have the outpost controlled, so that helps them a lot. All the extra EXP. I mean, not extra EXP, but you are denying StepSis a lot of EXP.
Oh yeah, that can definitely be an issue, right? We're seeing all these pickoffs, but you know, StepSis, they're spending a lot of their time just grouped up together looking for these kills, so they're actually not getting a lot of that resources that is spread out across the map. But well, in fact, they found Moon. Needs to go down once more, but at least Berita stays alive. We see a TP cancel from Vin. Doesn't want to commit to this at all.
Well,
Outpost taken back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal because now you have a bit more map control to teleport in, and of course your supports get a bit more EXP. And oh, Blast Strike! I believe this one's that you explode if you're hit.
Yeah, it's the one that like it explodes.
Oh, they won't get it.
Yeah, like a pseudo suicide bomber, right? Someone hits you, it goes off, boom, and then you get blinded. In a 300 radius, I think that 300 radius is crazy. Basically, every melee attacker just gets blinded. It's the best, and it's like a craggy code. It's like a craggy code, but it's like a buff craggy code, like a way better craggy code.
What I like is that StepSis, they knew that they were gonna get Blast Strike, so they took all ranged heroes to avoid the impact. That's smart. That's thinking ahead.
Oh, BKB. Gyrocopter does have her BKB as well. Can they change the controls together? The Lotus Orb reflects the finger, but it's insufficient. Oh, the follow-up just a bit too late. And then 2 is gonna use her own BKB to get out. StepSis could have saved the Gyro, but now they will have to back off.
Yeah, I love that the finger just got reflected, almost killed. Lion was like, it's alright guys, Moon was like, I'll be fine, and just figured like, oh shit, I almost just killed myself. 4 stacks of finger, level 12 taken as well, so is a lot of damage for Lion. Well, Wind Ranger, she had to use the BKB, she won't have it active for a few seconds. That might be something to be worried about actually.
And this is gonna be
Tips will
high
be here
ground.
momentarily. Yeah, they do have 30 seconds as the Gyrocopter comes. Like Gyrocopter does have buyback. Oh wow, okay, that's DC. This is one of those. Let's think about what we're gonna do here, guys, because I need to know if we're buying back or not. I mean, seriously, it's like Gyrocopter.
You kind of have to just give up the tower, right? At least the tower. I mean, they have a glyph to buy some time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the Gyrocopter needs to buy back. You're right. It's like you have Sandstorm at the edge, a couple power shots, hoodwink spells. Maybe you could even throw out the Mortimer's Kisses just to clear out the creeps. And you're like, yeah, there you go. Saves the buyback. All right, Sand King, reconnect. We have a plan.
We'll see how this works out. Not yet. Still, I think they definitely have some ways to kind of, like you said, right, push Chicken Cordon back. You have the shackle shots. You have a lot of bursts. You have the Mortimer's Kisses if you need it. You can even, start pressuring like the Dragon Knight, for example. Just you land a sharpshooter and you give him that sense of danger that he's broken.
To be fair though, Beirida, once Beirida puts down a healing ward, she can't keep. I mean, the healing ward is actually already out, so it is going to be pretty hard to kill either Kazumi or even the creep wave unless you like all your spells land at the same time. Because there's a lot of healing, 5% healing all times is crazy. Well, we're still waiting though for Divine.
This is definitely gonna be a tough one, right? If they lose this fight, they will probably have to buy back. It's either that or they lose the Rex. I feel like they're gonna lose the Rex anyways if they lose the fight. So you kind of have to pick a poison, right? It's either you glyph this tower or you let the tower go down and then you glyph the Rex and try to fight for it.
At that point, there's no like if you're gonna glyph, you glyph the tower because it will clear out the creep wave. You don't just glyph for the racks, it's like not worth because they can't fight back. They're like, please don't hit us. Like no, if you glyph, it has to be the tower as well. All right, here we go. I think a glyph is gonna come out and maybe a couple power shots, and Chicken Cordon is gonna go back to base. I don't think they're gonna push this.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. There's a Blink Dagger on Beirida though. She can catch the backline if they're not careful. Okay, Blink Shackle shot, alright, just by a bit of time. Follow the Burrow Strike, the one of his kisses. They have the Sharpshooter to go through, but the damage is insufficient. And in fact, Divine taking a lot of damage. Beirida in the backline, they've already finished off the Wind Ranger. Sand King also dies.
Is under attack.
And yeah, that's it. That's kind of their best attempt.
It's kind of crazy that they went for that attempt, though. I mean, again, they could have used the the Jericho was out 10 seconds. Well, there was really no reason to rush this, and they went all in. By the way, they went with all their spells. Looks like they might be able to get the Gyrocopter as well.
Cookie out. We just saw the blast rings go off. Gyrocopter doesn't really care. It's gonna be the tower, and of course, Cordon once more. Maybe they're just gonna stand in front and be that front line. Ah, man, if only they were a bit more patient, but we hear the Sharpshooter being charged up. Let's see who is gonna hit. It's completely gonna go wide, and a Swift Slash, an Omni Slash in fact. Beirida just chops everyone up. And what seemed to be a glimmer of hope for StepSis might have been extinguished at this point. That Rex is gonna die for sure. Chicken Cordon in a very commanding position.
I mean, it looked like at one point they looked like they were in a good spot, and you're like, oh, maybe they can come back. The base was also like just had to wait a little bit for Gyrocopter, but this might be too rash for them. But there's still a buyback on the Gyrocopter. Nice stun coming out from the Sand King, but there you go. They might be losing Divine as well. That's like the 11th death for her.
Yeah, this isn't good at all. I mean, the new radius looks insane for the Juggernaut.
Right? In fact, if you look at it and you're like, oh, it looks huge. It's just 75 though.
Now the Dragonite just blinks into the Sharpshooter. They got a good shackle, but into a bushwhack. Okay, BKB Flash here comes through, goes in, focus fire, wants to take on the Dragonite. Zumi just gonna take on a trip. Doesn't even die, gets the Glimmer Kit, and now they will use the Earth Spike to stun up this Wind Ranger. 2 needs to run away, has the Wind Run, of course. But Granny Snapfire is dead, and now Beirida blinks in, gets the Ink Sword off into a Swift Slash. Damage is not enough, and you use the Blade Fury to get away. The Earth Spike only hits onto one. The Lion's Blink has just blinked to safety as well. In fact, you're gonna see a 2, okay, finding the Dragonite, but Moon's gonna hex her, and she is chopped up to death. Call down and Bushwhack, not gonna be able to do too much, as Beirida will use the Healing Ward. And everyone on the side of Chicken Cordon will be fresh once more, right out the oven.
Right, this Healing Ward is doing so much work for them. Every time it comes out, they just can't do anything about it. It looks like they're just gonna be able to rax this. And they still have Divine, they still have the Sand King, they still have good control, they can just get going. But the
it all just started from the bottom fight, right? If they just waited like, what, 5 more seconds, I think we would have had a very different result. And right now, all the depths are just staggered.
And that's the hardest thing, is like, everyone's like, oh, do we go now? It's like, no, I don't think so, maybe yes. And then they, one by one, they go in, it's like, oh, this could have just waited for the Gyrocopter. But it's not over yet. StepSis can make a comeback, you know? It's not impossible, honestly. It just has to really be, they have to be very careful with timing their a couple of stuns, and they can start picking people off.
Yeah, it has to be picture perfect. No more, they have kind of used up all their chances of, you know, being able to get away with mistakes. And this is the stage where the mistake is gonna end up with them losing the game. And of course, it's the lower bracket, so losers will be eliminated. MKB fresh for Beirida as well.
I was gonna say that, I was like, oh, he actually got the Swift Slash on the mid-ranger, he couldn't hit her. He's like, alright, that's never gonna happen to me again. I'm gonna make sure I get an MKB and take her out. How many times did Divine die this game, by the way? I mean, I don't mean to harp on the poor girl, but like, yeah, 11 deaths. That's tough. That's tough on you. That's your offlane. That's the girl who needs to do a lot to keep everyone alive, basically.
It's gonna be tough. Second Roshan underway. Of course, no cheese. Patch. You gotta wait for the third one. Which I think is very fair, right? You give a cheese and a shot, that's way too much. You gotta give, you know, either or.
Teams were like really delaying the game just to get the cheese. The second verse, they're like, okay, we'll get it's like too big of a power spike. You already control the map, and you get a cheese and a shard. That's way too much. So I'm glad Ice Frog changed that. It's being starved out is a little less punishing now.
Oh yeah. Wonder they probably give the shot to Cha. The Grimstroke. Let's see. Oh, where did he go?
I think so. I
Did
think so because Juggernaut had it just now.
Oh, Juggernaut ate it. Baby, that's
No,
like this is
no,
all
did
about
he?
me. Yeah.
No, I believe
Juggernaut.
it's
No. Juggernaut consumed it.
Juggernaut. It's not Dragonite. No, it's Dragonite.
Wait, what?
Dragonite ate it. Yeah, Dragonite ate it. He's got it's on the Dragonite.
No. She had the shot before. Wait, what? Did it go to the void?
Yeah, she gave it to the Dragonite.
No, the
That's
Dragonite had
item,
the
so
shot
you could-
before. He had the shot
Oh,
before.
yeah, oh,
Trust me. Yeah.
Oh, they must have gone to the Void Spirit then.
Does feel like it. Oh yeah, it's the void spirit. There we go. The extra dissimulate ring. Straight to the back
Holy
line. They found a
crap.
squirrel. Wow. Ulab is dead. This is the
Oh,
third
wow.
high ground tower. If there's a buyback, she gotta use it now. The fight is not gonna wait. Good Lotus Orb on the Yippee. They have the Grimstroke Soul Bind. That's not gonna do too much. Focus fight in the back line. Cha in danger. Good Burrow Strike. They take him out. But 2 also gives his life away as Divine just gets chopped. But they're gonna lose the Void Spirit. The Epicenter actually pays off. Baby that's gonna come back to life, and Sand King decides to buy back as Divine wants to join this. But the Lion, how is he even there? Swift Slash Cookie? They want to keep the Gyrocopter alive, and he needs to stay alive. He's taxed and he's dead. And she just can't do much. Now they will set the ground on fire as Divine sits in it. She will be alive, but without the Gyrocopter, things are looking pretty grim.
Radiant's
Yeah,
top
it's Mega Creeps for sure. I love that we took a 2-minute detour just to talk about Shard, who got it, like the mystery, like the Sherlock Holmes. Who did it? But it didn't change from the fact of the game that it has been chicken cordon for almost the entire game. There were signs of life from StepSis, but it's just not enough. And I mean, yeah, Gyrocopters come back in what 50 seconds. Maybe they'll be able to defend it, but to what end? You know, it's like you're so far behind. It's just gonna be a slow death no matter what.
middle tower has fallen.
And Chicken Cordon, Beirida has a Swift Blink as well.
GG's
Swift
called.
Blink and Swift Slash, yeah, that's GG. Yes. Yeah, the game is practically over. StepSis did their best, but Chicken Cordon reigns supreme today. They continue the lower bracket run for sure. They will still have a chance to climb all the way to the top. It's not gonna be any easier though. It is the best of one gauntlet.
Yeah, they are going to go up against either Maresca or Unknown. Maresca also looked pretty strong in their game, so that is going to be a challenge for them to go up against it because Chicken Cordon, they did make like Beirida played really well, but the rest of the team weren't quite on the same level. So you have to think that if they can shut down Beirida, you might be able to beat Chicken Cordon.
That could be a possibility.
I just love the draft that they had though. Great heal from the Juggernaut, sustained from the Dragon that was able to keep himself alive. Beautiful combination between the Grimstroke as well as the Lion and the Dragon. Is just really good by Chicken Cordon all the way. The top lane went way too good for them. Despite that, StepSis was able to really farm up in most of the they had a really decent comeback opportunity. They used it as well as they could. It wasn't good enough.
Oh yeah. I mean, Beirida 16-2. I mean, you could not have asked for a better Juggernaut game. It's just a monstrous position one. We haven't seen too much of a post one that is kind of out of the ordinary. Maybe other than the Clinks, which has been teased to be a potential carry. Maybe not in the safe lane though. So far, we've seen him in the mid lane the most. But Juggernaut, could be the next big thing.
Yeah, he's an active hero. He's always been very stable. Like there's never been a patch where you're like, you know what, Juggernaut doesn't seem very. It's like he's always been a very stable hero. And if right now when teams are sort of figuring out what's the most effective carry, you can fall back on the Juggernaut until like a better options start appearing. So I really liked it. And I do think it was just Barry that just played so well. Fast, Battle Fury, farmed a lot, was able to really abuse the space her teammates. So. I mean, look at that. It's like 700 GPM against a Gyrocopter. Like, when you outfarm a Gyrocopter, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it'd be... She does have a lot of space for herself, but you can see the contributions in those fights says otherwise, right? This Gyrocopter was not able to kind of be the effective front line core, especially I think the bottom lane one was kind of a big misstep. She had that fresh BKB, not able to get it off, and that death really cost the StepSis their momentum in the game.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Chicken Cordon continues that lower bracket run, and StepSis unfortunately have to say goodbye to the FSL Dota 2 Open 2. But it's still great. We got to witness what these players are capable of. I hope we see them in the future.
Same here. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing StepSis go up against Maresca. Honestly, that'll be an interesting team because these two teams are the teams that won. So seeing what they can do against each other, it's like when you see a team, beat another team, you're like, oh, they look so strong. But then you go up against another winning team, and you're like, oh, okay, now I get a much more accurate idea of where each team ranks.
Yeah, and with that being said, that's already 3 games. We have 2 more best of ones coming up. Next up, we have Foxy Gaming against Lugiami. That is going to be another banger to behold. And before we go to the break, just to remind you guys that this would not have happened without our organizers FSL alongside our sponsors and partners Intel and Yahoo. So thank you very much for making this journey and taking this trip with us. We will go on a break and we'll be back for game number 4.